Okie.
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 Okie and welcome.
We acknowledge that we're gathered on the lands of the Blackfoot people of the Canadian Plains.
We pay respect to the Blackfoot people's past,
Present.
and future.
We recognize the thousands of Indigenous peoples
From many diverse nations.
Call Lethbridge home.
Including members of the Blackfoot Confederacy,
Of the Six Gates at the Peak.
Akana.
Pikanyu.
Siksika.
I'm Scapi Peakman.
As well as other First Nations,
Métis, and Inuit peoples.
we respect Indigenous peoples' cultural heritage.
Beliefs
Truth
and relationship to the land.
that stretches back in time.
We will not blink at history.
We will not blink at history.
and we will learn from it.
Okie is an invitation.
A step forward.
In Blackfoot, Okie means hello.
Okie means hello.
Hello.
Okie.
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 Okie, and welcome to the lands of the Blackfoot people.
Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you to the Lethbridge Chamber of Commerce, Davidson Williams, and to the staff of the Lethbridge Trading Convention Centre here for this great breakfast. And thank you all for coming out to be here with me at the 2026 State of the City Address. It's great to see so many familiar faces in the crowd, and I know that everybody's schedules are busy, and I've got something on my screen right now telling me you're in a hell of a lot of trouble because you've got way more time, less time than what you're actually needing. So please bear with me as we make our way through this. And I'll try to skip on a few things that may not need as much time. So, and I totally understand, I'm a business owner as well. If you need to leave, I am not offended whatsoever, and I understand that people do have places to get to and work to do. So I appreciate those that do need to leave and understand the reasons for that. And there might be other reasons too, but we'll say that you have to get to work, right? So in the summer of 2025, the city conducted a telephone survey of Lethbridge residents. The vast majority, and that was over 90%, rate the quality of life in Lethbridge as good or very good. We saw 75% of the respondents somewhat or very satisfied with city services, which ranks above the average of about 65% for the rest of Alberta municipalities. The city also completed a survey to assess local business climate, challenges, and growth priorities. Results show a high level of satisfaction with Lethbridge as a place to own and operate a business, with 86% reporting they are somewhat or very satisfied. Respondents were most satisfied with the availability of facilities for events, and that sat at 83%. And I'm wondering if you'll know what the least satisfied item was, and that was property taxes, and that was 42%. Not 42% property taxes, just make sure. Now, I'm the first one to point out to you that these surveys don't necessarily reach everybody in the community, and of course, this data gathered should only provide one avenue of information for any future decision making, but they do seem to paint a pretty solid picture of Lethbridge. So that's what I want to focus on today's presentation, this gathering represents an important cross-section of people in the city, and you collectively represent the business, education, and agricultural sectors, public sector, and of course, private entity. A wide variety of organizations, where most of you wear more than one hat. Everyone in this room has the common goal of living in the best city that we can possibly live in. And as the third largest city in Alberta, Lethbridge consistently demonstrates a sustainable and healthy rate of growth. This stability, as well as steady growth and retention, allows the city of Lethbridge to plan effectively for the future of our community. This council term will largely be focused on asset management and maintaining current infrastructure. We've heard loud and clear that the holding the line is what a lot of people are hoping that we do for the next several years. We know there were some challenges in 2025 that will carry here into 2026 and beyond. There's also some pretty good news stories from the city of Lethbridge, many of which I'll speak about here this morning. So for today, I want to open similarly to last year and say on behalf of City Council and City Administration, I want you to help us set that tone in the community. Help spread good news and continue to be part of the solutions continue to be part of the solutions for challenges and find ways to get involved. The best way to move Lethbridge forward is together. So we're in the first year of our council term with myself and councillors Al Bieber, Mark Campbell, Belinda Croson, Rufa Doria, Reiko Dodic, Ryan Wolf, Jen Schmidt-Rempel, Ryan Parker, all of whom are here this morning, and I hope I didn't forget one. I'm so honored to be a part of this wonderful assembly of 9 people from different backgrounds who have come together with a common goal of the betterment of Lethbridge. I'm excited to work with this group for the next nearly 4 years. For those who followed the news from our City Council meeting on Tuesday, you'll be aware that our committee structure could be changing. First reading was done earlier this week, with second and third readings coming up on February the 10th. We may soon be introducing an updated Community Issues Committee, so that's a CIC, to replace our previous standing policy committees. The primary intent is designed to provide feedback and focused oversight, policy review, and recommendations, along with further transparency and more public participation. This model would ensure all members of council receive the same information concurrently and can participate meaningfully in a focused, issue-driven environment. CICs are also intended to provide enhanced opportunities for community participation, with better opportunities for our residents, stakeholders, and organizations to bring forward perspectives, information, and concerns on issues of community interest. The CIC would allow all members of council to participate fully in the discussions, as well as engage directly with administration and review matters of community importance in a transparent and collaborative setting. Council will continue to work with our local elected representatives, and I see many of them here, MP Rachel Thomas, MLA Nathan Newdorf, and MLA Robmir Shiro, and other orders of government for the collective goal of creating a better Lethbridge, and to advocate for the resources and funding our city needs to address key issues. We'll push to further secure and advance our business sector's needs so we can be the first place investors and businesses come to when they look to open new doors and new ventures. So next to government roles and responsibilities. I'm sure you've all seen this slide that has been put out. Regarding jurisdiction, I again want to show this slide outlining the government roles and responsibilities. It'll help provide some further context for some of the topics this morning. One of the biggest components at the municipal level is to advocate other levels of government for further supports in the city. Council members and administration are always striving towards collaboration and further intergovernmental work on several fronts. Many of you have probably heard my comments following the 2025 municipal election, specifically about the lack of respect out there. Threats and damaging social media comments that happened throughout all of our campaigns, and it was quite the time. It's unfortunate that so many people choose this route rather than meeting in person or offering positive suggestions. It's unfortunate that so many people prefer trying to reach an audience rather than to try to find an actual answer to their question or concern. We all, not just elected officials, business owners and all, deserve the respect in person and online. So I'd ask if we please treat each other how we all wish to be treated. And it's really not that hard to be kind to someone, even if you happen to disagree with their standpoint or opinion. We're speaking this morning on some items focused through these sections. And so we've got good news, top issues and priorities, major community and regional partners, city finances, some more good news, and before we go. So the good news, I'm going to approach this section a little bit differently, and of course I'm doing that because I know if people need to leave, we got to throw all the good news first, right? So I'm going to approach this section a little bit differently this year. The first 3 topics I'm going to discuss are positive, important updates on 3 significant areas of public interest from the past several years. Up first is water and wastewater. As we've seen in Calgary recently, the importance of water-related infrastructure can't be overstated. At Council's meeting on Tuesday, we received an important update from our infrastructure director and city manager on the state of Lethbridge's water infrastructure. We're in decent shape, but again, there needs to be a continued focus on asset management to ensure we avoid a catastrophic situation like our friends in Calgary. Water is not an infinite resource, and as the city's population continues to grow, The process to provide water and wastewater services to residents and businesses becomes a more pressing issue. On peak days, water treatment demands near 100% of the current design capacity. We again appreciate everyone's voluntary reduction of their water usage. The City of Lethbridge is moving towards some critical upgrades in the water treatment plant. The estimated cost for initial upgrades is $67.2 million and is part of the 2022 to 2031 capital improvement program. The first phase begins thanks in part to a $9.2 million grant from the province of Alberta. This investment is a major win for our community. It protects our water, helps support future growth, and meets the needs of residents, businesses, and industry. And the best part, there's no increase to water rates for this phase. Thank you to MLA Nathan Neudorf, Minister of Affordability and Utilities, and Dan Williams, Minister of Municipal Affairs, for the provincial level contribution to this vital project. The increased capacity is especially important for the region's thriving agri-food and manufacturing sectors. The water treatment plant runs 24 hours a day, and it serves more than 133,000 Southern Albertans across 10 municipalities. The first phase includes two major projects: a new high-capacity clarifier to back up older equipment, as well as electrical upgrades to swap out aging equipment and add extra power sources. Both projects ensure the plant can keep working smoothly, even during unexpected problems. Phase 1 of the construction has a target completion date of December of 2027. Future planned phases would boost capacity to 250 million litres a day, and that would support new jobs, industries, and growth for our region. The city will continue to explore additional funding opportunities to support future phases of this expansion. And Excite Lethbridge. I want to begin this portion by stating this building that we're in is a world-class facility that presents tremendous opportunity for our community. I want to give a huge shout out to Kim Gallucci and his team for their efforts this past year. It takes time, but the progress has been noticeable. In December, Mr. Gallucci gave Council the latest monthly financial reporting. This for the period ending September 30th and for Lethbridge and District Exhibition, timed with a strategic organizational split, which I'll speak to in just a moment. They have met their year-end goals, and things are definitely trending in the right direction. To quickly review some events for the past 13 or so months as part of the Memorandum of Understanding, in 2024 resolution, Council approved the 2025 and 2026 operating budget requirements for the continued operation of the Lethbridge and District Exhibition, totaling $4.1 million. This included the LDE fee for service operating grant of $1.8 million in 2025 and $1.6 million in 2026, and an increase to the Asset Management and Lifecycle Fund of $800,000 for both 2025 and 2026. Last May, to continue transparency with the community, Lethbridge City Council publicly released a 566-page report of confidential meeting documents. We heard loud and clear that our residents want to be fully informed on LDE's decisions. We also want the public to understand the limited amount of information Council had in relation to the complexity of the decisions that we had to make. In September 2025, it was formally announced that the Lethbridge and District Exhibition, LDE, would make a strategic split into two distinct and focused entities: the Lethbridge and District Agricultural Society, the LDAS, and that will promote agriculture in the region, and Excite Lethbridge, anchored by the Lethbridge Trading Convention Centre that we're in, will enhance event development and attraction for the community. Returning to this original name with a renewed focus last month, LDAS established a new board of directors of agriculturally focused individuals in alignment with the Alberta Agricultural Societies Act. So a little bit back to the roots. Excite Lethbridge, a municipality-controlled non-profit organization, will partner with LDAS to help develop and host agricultural events for the region. So count me as one of those ones that are pretty excited that there's going to be a return of Aggie Days. The combined efforts of these two organizations will provide the community with the events they know and love. This includes the Farmers Market, Ag Expo, and of course, Whoop Up Days, to name a few. Excite Lethbridge will expand trade and convention opportunities, bringing more events and visitors to Lethbridge. Even though this organization is municipally controlled, it is at an arm's length, and as an arm's length to the city, they're able to be nimble and flexible while still being financially accountable to our taxpayers. The partnership between Excite Lethbridge and LDAS is a way to make sure both organizations can be successful. When the city took over the responsibility of the LDE, the immediate focus was on finding the very best solution for our community. And I commend the hardworking staff and stakeholders who took quick action to make the needed changes. I'm equally proud of the careful analysis, collaboration, and planning that built this new model. I look forward to seeing what the other opportunities and benefits lie ahead. Public safety. So last summer when the annual stats report came out, it showed that our overall crime severity index, the CSI number for 2024 reporting period, was down nearly 19% from the year before. This was the third largest drop in the country and continued a positive 5-year trend. And while there's still work to be done and to keep our numbers dropping even further, we're very pleased that we're trending in the right direction. Our goal is always to be lower, but as the police chief has said, some numbers may fluctuate year to year based on a whole variety of factors. What will not change is that Lethbridge City Council and City of Lethbridge staff are deeply care about the wellness of our community. Public safety will always be a top priority. I want to thank Chief Shaheen Medizadeh and Deputy Chief Gerald Grobmeyer for their leadership. I look at our police service and the work that they do, and I want to make sure that I give a shout out to each and every one of them. Safety is a result of more than just police, of course. So on that note, I do want to thank our community and social development team for their role in regarding public safety in the community. Their work with our local social service providers, the encampment strategy, the municipal housing strategy, the community well-being and safety strategy, the Building Safer Communities Fund, and our Community Safety Strategy Committee is something to be commended. I do want to quickly address potential closure of the province's temporary overdose prevention site. Since the closure of the full-time supervised consumption site, which was North America's busiest supervised consumption site, there's been significantly less calls to EMS and significant less fatalities. In fact, since 2023, there's been an 89.7% decrease in the rate of substance abuse deaths in Lethbridge. Since the last full year of the SES operating to today, we have seen a 91% decrease in site visits to the temporary OPS. In 2023, there were 55 opiate-related fatalities in public spaces. In 2025, there were 0 reported in public spaces. In 2023, EMS averaged 33.5% opiate-related events per month. In 2025, they averaged 7 per month, which is an 80% decrease. What we are doing in conjunction with the provincial strategies has been an overwhelming success in Lethbridge. We've gone from being one of the worst to one of the best in terms of compassionate care and transitioning people back to the lives that they deserve. So top issues and priorities. We just heard a great update on public safety and Excite Lethbridge, so what else is there? As I mentioned last year, this is by no means a full or exhaustive list of items. The Big C City of Lethbridge Corporation is not the only municipality facing similar challenges, and the City of Lethbridge is not solely responsible for jurisdiction on some of these matters. These are issues happening in our community. However, we have the responsibility to do what we can with our roles and continue to advocate in areas of need to other levels of government. Whoop Up Drive. Oh, sorry. Next slide, please. No, well, who could forget the year that Whoop Up Drive had in 2025, right? It's one of our most important pieces of infrastructure and is with the utmost importance that we keep it maintained. A recurring theme here today is asset management. We had great plans to conduct timely and unrelated bridge rehabilitation work last summer with as minimal impact as possible. Then, the morning of August 6th happened, and I was among those who were just down the road at the water treatment plant for an exciting provincial funding announcement that I spoke about earlier. Then boom, flatbed trailer carrying heavy equipment struck the underside of the Whoop Up Drive bridge, where 4 of the 6 steel bridge girders were damaged. So new plan, right, Lloyd? Yep. I want to again thank our residents for their patience in the months that followed. We understand this was frustrating for motorists, especially those who live and commute to and from the West Side daily. We had some of the top bridge experts in Canada involved in the repair process and did the best we could given the unforeseen circumstances. To reiterate and address one frequent comment we heard, why couldn't we have crews working 24 hours a day? Due to the complexities that were involved with this bridge work, 24/7 would not have sped up the repair process or the bridge maintenance work, as some of the things included are different types of concrete and the curing process, among many other things, stuff that is way out of my pay grade. But as we had these experts in talking to us, this is some of the things that we had heard. As repair work is completed in early December, the City of Lethbridge set a new consistent speed limit of 70 kilometers an hour on Whoop Up Drive. So, boo or a yay or... The administrative decision, with the support of LPS and Lethbridge Fire and Emergency Services, intended to improve road safety and reduce the risk of serious collisions and potentially tragic consequences. This stretch of road between Scenic Drive South and University Drive West saw 128 collisions between 2020 and 2024. A total of 36 people were injured, 3 of them seriously. Aggressive driving, including unsafe speeds, was a cause of 51 of the 128 collisions. At 90 kilometers an hour, hitting a barrier carries a high risk of severe injury. Adjusting the speed at 70 kilometers an hour cuts impact by about 40%. And the speed reduction is approximately 30 seconds adds 30 seconds to the 2.7 kilometer trip. So it's a minimal increase in travel time that significantly increases safety. And I had a great story to tell you here, but with no time, about my 1972 Ford Pinto in 1988 that I was trying to gain some speed to go up that hill on the other side, and it was at 60 kilometers an hour back in the day, if you remember the speed limit on Whoop Up Drive, but that's for another day. Hit me up sometime. It's a really good story, because I don't know how I got clocked at the speed I was, which still wasn't 90 kilometers an hour, but it was faster than 60. 4-speed full out, yeah.
Your feet were up.
Is it feet? It's like Fred Flintstone style, right? Let's see. First, a well-maintained Whoop Up Drive is still well within what we can handle on a daily basis. So we're talking a little bit about the comment suggestions during the time that the bridge was down, that we would need to have an additional third river crossing. And as many of you are well aware, it was something that was a very heated topic during this last election, and reasons for it, I think many stemmed from the fact that, of course, we were down and we were struck with the issues that we had during the summertime. So if you search on the city's website, there's a news release from October 2022 and ones prior with cost proposals at the time, as well as extensive background on the subject. So I want to thank Councillor Dodick for bringing up these questions and getting the responses that we needed to have. There's reference to the item in C21 as a long-term, so this bridge is item C21 in the long-term capital budget for preliminary design in 2027. This is currently part of the unfunded section in the CIP, with the next CIP deliberations set for November. I'm sure we're going to renew that conversation at that time. But as I've said many times before, I just can't and won't, and I'll speak on behalf of myself, but support a massive tax increase to Lethbridge residents to fund this. And we'll continue to work with other levels of government for a long-term plan. And just so you're aware of those that have wondered the comments and the different letters that have been sent to other levels of government, it's happened multiple times over the past few years. But we all know there's a shortage all over at a provincial level, federal level. Dollars just aren't there, and it's a lot tighter. But we'll continue that advocacy work. Last June, Council heard an update marking 2 years of encampment strategy success. The primary message is that the strategy is making a real difference in reducing entrenchment and improving public safety. Since the strategy's launch in the spring of 2023, the pace of homelessness growth in the city has slowed significantly. According to the 2024 point-in-time count, homelessness in Lethbridge has grown by 7% each year since 2022. That marks a significant slowdown from the 19.5% annual rise between 2018 and 2022. The slowdown is largely thanks to focused investments and growing partnerships. This includes the Government of Alberta's support for the Lethbridge Shelter and the Blood Tribes Department of Health taking over shelter operations. The strategy's success is also largely built on its proactive and integrated encampment response. More than 2,200 encampment-related sites have been triaged since 2023, with more than 85,000 kilograms of debris removed. Through early intervention and consistent field presence, the city is preventing entrenched encampments and maintaining a public environment that is safe for everyone in the community. This in turn leads to the reduced demand for emergency services, while encampment reports in Lethbridge more than doubled from 2023 to 2024. Service calls to police dropped by 16% and calls to fire and emergency services declined by 11%. Outdoor fire incidents, a key safety concern related to encampments, are still trending down. However, we've seen just lately a few recent incidents. So we encourage you to please report any of these issues that you see. The city's decision to bring outreach services in-house has been instrumental in improving support. Since the transition, there's been 263% increase in outreach intakes and a 318% rise in referrals. From August 24 to April 25, 19 individuals exited homelessness compared to none in the previous year. This shows the impact, the consistent relationship-based engagement. We're very thankful to the provincial government for partnering with the Lethbridge Housing Authority and the Blood Tribe Department of Health to expand that shelter, as mentioned earlier, including dedicated space for on-site recovery-oriented services. The province invested more than $4 million to support local partners in addressing the challenges related to homelessness in Lethbridge. City of Lethbridge also donated the land valued at $1.4 million to accommodate the expansion. The expansion of shelter services in Lethbridge will go a long way to help the city's most vulnerable get the supports that they need. City of Lethbridge has advocated for these steps, and we're pleased to see the rapid progress in addressing the needs in our community. So, housing and a future. Well, for many years, there's been a debate as to which level of government is responsible for housing. In recent years, there's been an acknowledgement that all levels of government need to be involved in one way, shape, or form. As the national housing crisis continues, it is through creative efforts and methods where positive outcomes will continue to occur. As such, the City of Lethbridge has become more involved with the updating of the municipal housing strategy, approving a housing solutions coordinator, seeing a high degree of success with a affordable and social housing capital grant. Boy, is that a mouthful. And making governance changes to positively impact the distribution of federal reaching home funding into the community. The 30-unit supportive housing project by Lethbridge Housing Authority is the first recovery-focused, purpose-built supportive housing facility in Lethbridge. Supportive housing moves individuals who have experienced long-term homelessness into affordable, individual suites with on-site and community-based services to help them regain stability and maintain housing. Once housed, they are better able to address other challenges that they face, including long-term recovery from addictions and mental health or physical illnesses. A huge shout out to Robin James and the Lethbridge Housing Authority team. In February 2025, through the Affordable and Social Housing Capital Grant, Lethbridge City Council conditionally approved several capital funding requests that result in development of 112 housing units, 82 of which would be held at affordable rates. So more than $1.1 million was given to the Green Acres Foundation for 56 units, all affordable, targeting seniors with a mixed-use development. The project's total budget is more than $22 million. $500,000 to My City Care for 40 units, 12 of which are affordable, targeting women, children, families, and vulnerable individuals within a mixed market development. The project's total budget for that one is $12.9 million. Nearly $210,000 to the Settlese Canada Foundation for 16 units, 14 affordable, targeting new immigrants with short tenure housing. The project's total budget is nearly $6.2 million. So as you can see, being able to leverage municipal funding with dollars from federal and provincial governments has already proven to be a successful formula for several ongoing projects. With these conditional approvals, Council is also supporting housing projects with diverse target demographics and priority populations identified in our municipal housing strategy. Each project's condition includes securement of the balance of the project funding on or before June 30th, 2026. Securement of funding from provincial or federal sources equal to or exceeding municipal contribution, successful acquisition of a development permit for the project. So despite funds being fully conditionally allocated, administration continues to work with organizations to support their housing projects through other methods as well. The city's existing land use bylaw, you've heard a lot about, has served the community since 1986. It controls what uses and types of buildings can be built where, how tall buildings can be, parking requirements, home businesses, etc. It greatly affects critical issues like housing affordability, economic development, and sustainability. It's a tool to standardize our decision-making processes, and this project will determine what aspects of use and development of land should be regulated and to what degree. Residents will have many opportunities to engage with the new draft land use bylaw once it's complete, in addition to participating in the public hearing process as the draft makes its way through City Council. The current land use bylaw renewal project timeline estimates this process would start later this year. For the past few years, City Council has taken an active role in partnering and advocating for the recruitment and retention of family physicians. As a reminder, the municipal government, as we've seen in the little slide that we had earlier, does not have jurisdiction over healthcare in Alberta, and this work has not typically been done by us, but as this greatly impacts our residents, Council continues to support efforts to attract and retain medical professionals in our community. This will continue to require collaborative efforts with the provincial government to promote Lethbridge as a great place for physicians to practice and establish a home. That includes family medicine, as well as specialty areas such as anesthesiology, child and adolescent mental health, diagnostic imaging, emergency medicine, geriatrics, gynecology, and cardiology, just to name a few. The latest numbers from the College of Physicians and Surgeons of Alberta show that since 2022, Lethbridge has seen a gain of 43 doctors and has 317 registered physicians now practicing. Of course, that doesn't always mean more access, because the population in Lethbridge and the province has also grown. Work continues, and the University of Lethbridge's Southern Alberta Medical Program will be a huge asset moving forward. The program will recruit local students and those likely to reside in a rural setting after completing medical school. Research strongly suggests that physicians that train in a regional or distributed model have a much higher chance of remaining in the community that trained them. Its first classes are set to begin later this year, and once fully operational, the program will train up to 30 students annually. The City of Lethbridge has played an important role in championing this initiative as a way of building physician capacity in our city and region. And of course, I'd like to mention that thanks to a large part to the hard work of Dr. Zielke, the Alberta government has supported the planning of a new cardiac cath lab in Lethbridge. The new cath lab is a priority we've been advocating for, and with the dedicated help of Dr. Zielke, we are closer than ever to making that a reality.
This is a story that started by a river, nestled in the prairies, at the foot of the mountains. In this place grew a city that from its beginning had an eye towards the future. Today, Lethbridge has grown into something better. A gateway to opportunity. A place that's learning, adapting. A place where athletes are forged and artists flourish. A place where
Oki means hello.
This is a story of a city built around balance between industry and community, arts and science, work and play. Lethbridge is far from the noise, but close to the action. This is a story of resilience. A city reconciling with its past to meet the challenge of the future. This is the story of a city by the river. One whose best chapters are not behind, but ahead. Come be a part of it.
So it talks a little bit about the recruitment efforts, but I'm sure you've all seen that video there, and we're really happy with the work that the city does in order to try to help with recruitment of physicians into our area. So as usual, this section of major community and regional partners has the most collective impact for our city and our region. All of the logos that you see, and I apologize if anyone was missed, represent some of the most important stakeholders for our community and region. As always, City Council and City Administration value you and look forward to working with all of you moving forward. Economic Development Lethbridge and the Lethbridge Chamber of Commerce have partnered on the Brighter Together survey of local businesses since 2019. This initiative probes local organizations to provide feedback about their current sentiments and overall business health, to better understand local conditions and to communicate the results to key stakeholders. Thanks to EDL, who will be issuing a media release today, for giving me a little sneak peek at this year's survey. For some of the 2025 highlights, the report shows that business performance during the past 12 months was strong, with 60% of respondents reporting that their business or organization achieved growth over this period. Optimism levels remain on par with those from last year, with more than 6 in 10 respondents having a positive outlook for the year ahead. The cost of insurance and labor costs were identified as the greatest obstacles facing employers during the next 12 months. Post-secondary presence was selected as the greatest locational attribute, while the municipal tax environment was identified as the biggest challenge to doing business in the Lethbridge area. Those two topics just happen to be two of the next topics that I want to discuss here this morning. I'd like to again dispel some of the myth and remind everyone that our municipal property tax per capita is truly in the middle of the pack among Alberta municipalities. Our utility costs for water, sewer, garbage collection, and recycling are among the lowest in Alberta, while our commercial electricity rates are competitive with most other municipalities in the province. Post-secondary institutions. Our ability to produce world-class research and innovation between our three outstanding post-secondary institutions is phenomenal. I look forward to continuing to work together with the University of Lethbridge, Lethbridge Polytechnic, and Red Crow College to leverage the work that they do and bring focus to how they're changing the game of technology and innovation on the world stage. A program I really want to highlight is our City Scholars program. City Scholars is a partnership between the City of Lethbridge, the University of Lethbridge, and the Lethbridge Polytechnic. Now in its 4th year, this work integrated learning program gives students real-world experience while helping the community. Through City Scholars, students work on projects that matter to Lethbridge. Students take the theory they learn in class and apply it to practical situations. Projects vary each semester, but are often aligned with the city's operational and strategic priorities. Recent projects have tackled how to inform and engage residents about snow routes, can't believe we talked about that, transit, the municipal election, and a lot more. This hands-on approach benefits everyone. Students gain valuable experience, and the city gets fresh ideas and research that can lead to innovation and homegrown solutions for Lethbridge. Perhaps most importantly, students develop a stronger connection to the community. It allows them to widen their network and see what life can be like after graduation if they choose to call Lethbridge home. And of course, we definitely want them to do that. Working together to set Lethbridge up for success is also the focus of a partnership agreement between the City of Lethbridge and the University of Lethbridge signed last year. This memorandum of understanding focuses on operational strategic goals, reinforcing the long-standing partnership and shared commitment to the Lethbridge community. The city was an engaged stakeholder in the development of the university's newly launched strategic plan. The MOU supports and directly connects to areas of this plan and wider community needs. The needs of the community were also heard loud and clear by our friends at Lethbridge Polytechnic as they continue to show why they are one of the top 10 research colleges in the country. Offering applied learning and research opportunities in a growing number of industry and community-based sectors, Lethbridge Polytechnic is an institution of choice for those who want to make a difference in their community and beyond. From healthcare to artificial intelligence, culinary arts to agricultural sciences, students at the Lethbridge Polytechnic are at the forefront of innovation research. That research that will develop them into future makers, thinkers, and leaders in our community. Innovative research like the amazing work being done at the Polytechnic's 385-acre research farm. Had the pleasure of touring that farm last summer during the announcement of the $2.8 million donation from the Hyggen family, and this transformative gift will go to help support operations of the research farm to ensure the continuation and expansion of applied agricultural research and innovation. Strong community ties, industry responsiveness, and immersive experiences are key to the success of Lethbridge Polytechnic. I'm continually inspired and grateful to be the part of the community that benefits from these contributions and the contributions of the institutions, and will continue to benefit for generations to come.
Lethbridge is a place unlike any other. It's not that we think we're better than other places, but we can't help but be proud of the things that make us special. Not the coulees, iconic span, the wind-carved landscape, or world-renowned flora, but the people, like you, like her, like them. Our friends, our neighbors, our family. We're proud to work for them. We'd love to work with you for the love
We've now
of
reached
Lethbridge.
today's intermission. Please take the next 10 to 50 minutes to talk about the weather, upcoming Olympics, or maybe the Super Bowl halftime show. Just not the City of Lethbridge finances, please. I'm obviously just kidding. In actual fact, the City of Lethbridge wins awards for its financial reporting, and I'm pleased to speak to it and clear up any possible misconceptions. Last month, the city won an award of excellence from the Government Finance Officers Association, recognizing innovative ideas and support strong financial management. One example is the city's financial reserve policy. It highlights how best practices in financial stewardship are being put into action. The financial reserve policy is like a toolbox. It gives us the right tools to plan ahead and keep things steady. It's how we make sure our badges and our budgets are realistic and achievable, so services for residents stay reliable year after year. It means when you call 911, visit the library, or drive on city roads, you can trust that the funding behind those services is secure. The policies ensure that our reserves are healthy and can support us when the unexpected happens. It also means that Lethbridge is setting an example for other municipalities across Canada. We're showing how smart, simple planning today makes life better for residents tomorrow. For those of you who are unaware, municipal governments cannot run a deficit. Here's a detailed illustration to break down what the municipal portion of your tax bill is paid for what it paid for in 2025. Please note that each $1 of your property taxes, 75 cents goes to the city's operating budget. It's important to showcase this for context. You'll again see the largest share of your municipal 75 cents going towards vital emergency services, with our police, fire, and emergency management services at almost 38%. Individual properties may see a tax change on their bills for several reasons. A couple of these could be a change in property assessment or an increase to the Alberta school budget. Property tax bills are specific to each property. Anyone with questions, of course, can contact 311 to get information specific to their assessment and tax bill. You can also visit lethbridge.ca/taxes to learn more about property taxes. Property assessment is a complicated subject, and there are so many variables, including home features, renovations, and possible hot housing market, that could change your current assessment based on the market value. And that this market value is based on last year, on July 1st. We have a wealth of information on our website, including the city's property information web map online to compare your assessment and your neighbors and other similar properties that have recently sold. You can also contact your assessment department with any questions that you have or details on your assessment. They'd be happy to assist you and answer any inquiries. Last summer, we released an updated one-page graphic based on data sourced from each municipality directly that shows how Lethbridge ranks within the 23 largest municipalities in Lethbridge. For an average cost of a single-family home, we're 10 out of 23. Annual property tax on median value single-family home, 14 of 23. Annual residential combined utility charges were the lowest in Alberta. This is not meant to be a be-all, end-all showcase, but rather a quick snapshot of where we generally compare in Alberta. I know it may not seem like it at the time, but the combination of these factors continue to make the cost of living in Lethbridge very attractive. The 2027 operating budget is planned to be a stub year added to the 2023 to 2026 operating budget. So deliberations are set for June on that. In 2027, City Council will deliberate the 4-year operating budget for 2028 to 2031. Capital budget deliberations for the 27 to 30 capital improvement program will be conducted this fall. So last March, City Council was provided an update from administration on the limited funding available in the next CIP and the planning challenges, of course, that lie ahead. Work is already underway to prepare projects for Council's consideration. The CIP supports major capital needs outside of the day-to-day city operations. The majority of the CIP funding comes from provincial and federal grants, some of which have recently been reduced. We know there's already many, many more projects than there is funding. We want to be upfront with our residents and our community partners about this reality. Based on what we know, this City Council will be extremely limited in the CIP projects they can approve. Because of this, we won't be going out looking for new projects, but rather trying to address the things we already have in the queue. In 2024, the Alberta government introduced the Local Government Fiscal Framework, so that's the LGFF. And if you're tired of acronyms, just don't think of going to any political event. It's full of them. So the LGFF is to replace what we had at one time, which was the Municipal Sustainability Initiative, MSI. So just add an extra letter onto another acronym. This change saw a reduction in the provincial funding to all municipalities of approximately 37%. This reduced funding, along with other financial challenges, including needs at the Lethbridge Trading Convention Centre, have created financial pressures within the capital budget. Between the unfunded projects identified in previous CIPs, projects in the City Master Plan, and asset management plans, including both critical infrastructure needs and other initiatives, the City is looking at upwards of $900 million in projects. The 2027 to 2030 CIP is estimated to have approximately $107 million in funding. But once ongoing capital programs are considered, that drops to just about $40 million. So again, $900 million in projects and about $40 million in funds. To help prioritize projects for the next CIP, administration recommended a focus to be put on maintaining current assets, as mentioned earlier, rather than building new infrastructure. The new LGFF also puts an emphasis on asset management. So talk a little bit about grants in place of taxes. The City of Lethbridge was pleased to learn about a specific area of the 2025 Alberta budget, the restoration of the grants in place of taxes, GPOT. One of the biggest issues that many people are unaware of, that Lethbridge has the highest percentage of untaxable buildings, such as schools and churches and park spaces in the province. We're about 18% compared to between 10 and 12% for most other areas in Alberta. And of course, we're proud to have all of these schools, and especially love the economic and other spin-offs, particularly from the post-secondary schools, as well as a diversity in our city. So there's obviously a positive trade-off. To account for this, municipalities are paid a GPOT on eligible properties within their boundaries. Starting in 2025 and 2026, GPOT funding will be paid to municipalities at 75% of the property tax amount that would be owed. So that's equal to about $55 million. Next year, it'll increase to 100%. So from 2018 to 2024, Lethbridge GPOT funding was cut from $1.2 million to $586,000, a reduction of approximately 50% across 5 years. That decrease resulted in taxation pressure of more than $500,000 annually. The restoration of full GPOT funding will help mitigate tax pressure on future operating budgets and will increase the city's revenues by approximately $290,000 in 2025 and $585,000 in 2026 based on our 2024 provincial properties. We appreciate that the Government of Alberta has heard the concerns we and other Alberta municipalities have expressed about the need to restore full GPOT funding. Economic development. Economic development is a core part of being a municipality. with Lethbridge City Council having an essential role in providing good governance and ample opportunities to businesses to succeed. We acknowledge there is always room to improve support for businesses. A reminder that the City of Lethbridge offers a variety of grants, incentives, and financial support for organizational initiatives that are providing social and economic benefit to the community. Last year, as a matter of fact, City Council approved funding to provide temporary resources to complete and implement its economic development strategy. Funding this strategy will allow administration to move faster through the work and to be less reliant on outside funding sources. Council also previously approved the Business Development Expansion and Retention Incentive Program. I don't even know what that acronym would be, but a grant-based program developed with the input of local industry and informed by recent report and data. The program provides a grant tied to property taxes to businesses and other investors in key industries. The grant covers an incremental increase in property taxes due to the new investment, starting at 100% in year 1, tapering to 50% after year 5. The program supports businesses in 3 key areas: agri-food and agribusiness, trade and logistics, and alternative and renewable energy. These sectors were strategically chosen to align with the long-term economic development goals of Lethbridge, offering opportunities for innovation, sustainability, and global competitiveness. They also align with the priorities of the provincial and federal governments for the southern Alberta region. We've already seen strong interest from local businesses, and we look forward to the forthcoming economic development strategy that will signal other ways the city can be, again, continue to be open for business. In addition, Council has recently supported updates to long-term financial sustainability framework and economic development research and support. The first goal is to formalize the long-standing financial principles and practices that guide the organization in making financial decisions, while also allowing for flexibility for future councils to achieve their strategic vision. A full update is anticipated by the end of Q1 2026. And I want to thank Councillor Schmidt-Rempel and Councillor Croson for bringing that forward. Where are they? Over here. Thank you. Some more good news. I want to take this opportunity to highlight some of the successes that have been achieved. This is just a small showcase of some of the great work being done in our community. And just for another reminder that it's okay to talk about some of the good news. Westside Development. So it's one of the biggest announcements of 2025. A group of local developers publicized plans for a major multi-use development at the crossings on the west side. Construction is set to begin this year on more than $300 million in total new investment for residential, commercial, hospitality, and seniors living initiatives. This will include a hotel, more than 450 planned urban residences, and Green Acres Foundation advancing plans for a new senior living community. These investments showcase the strength of the local collaboration among developers, builders, and community partners, and will have a major impact in the more than 45,000 people now living on the west side. Trust me, we've heard loud and clear that we need more businesses, more retail shopping, and other amenities on the west side. This overall development should ultimately also help alleviate the stress of people having to come across to the south side or the north side to be able to shop or work. No, we invite everyone to come across. Don't think we want to ban everybody over to the west side or ban them to the south side. We're community, a close community. Are we all okay? We're almost through here. If you maybe pinch your neighbor, make sure that they're away. Construction also began in April for a new temple of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. It's cleared a 45,000 square foot temple will be next to the YMCA in West Lethbridge. And the trades being used for that and many of the different expansions on the west side are local trades. And so that's really exciting to be able to see. Now, hope we have enough of them, and so Polytechnic will keep pushing them to keep pumping out these trades folks. So thank you very much for that. Another exciting project is in early development is at the University of Lethbridge South Outline Plan proposal, which envisions a variety of residential development densities and commercial mixed-use sites along with pockets of park space. A portion of the plan is designated as a special study area, as further study will be required to develop this area. The Veterans Crosswalk. Last year, myself and Councillor Parker asked about the feasibility to develop and install a commemorative Veterans Crosswalk in front of the Yates. Completed ahead of the Remembrance Day and located just near the cenotaph, the initiative honors our veterans and continues our tradition of decorative crosswalks that reflects community values. The crosswalk design was selected by the Lethbridge Legion. So the feedback on this project, on this crosswalk, has actually been quite phenomenal. Starting last July, the city and Excite Lethbridge combined forces to host Canada's birthday. As the crowds have grown, so has some of the challenges like overcrowding, park damage, and security. Moving part of the event to Excite Lethbridge brings a lot of benefits. There's more parking, security sight lines are more open, space to enjoy the celebrations, and of course, the park is right close by. The indoor amenities like washrooms and concession areas are another huge asset. This new partnership also brings significant financial benefits for both organizations. Shifting some events away from the park will help reduce the city's operational costs and provide Excite Lethbridge with more revenue opportunities. Moving forward, the Canada Day team will continue to work closely with all organizations hosting Canada Day functions, including the Lethbridge Bulls, Henderson Outdoor Pool, Ribfest, Nikiyuko Japanese Garden, and the Rocky Mountain Turf Club, to name a few. Last summer, the Government of Alberta asked if Lethbridge could host Manitoba wildfire evacuees. And within hours, the city gathered local partners, they checked space, confirmed supplies, and built a plan. With support from Lethbridge Polytechnic, Alberta Health Services, Canadian Mental Health Association, Lethbridge Transit, Lethbridge Airport, Lethbridge Fire and Emergency Services, and others, the city lined up housing, meals, buses, and wellness supports for more than 250 evacuees, all within 24 hours notice. Ultimately, we did not have to receive the evacuees. Still, the work paid off. It improved the emergency plans, strengthened partnerships, and showed that Lethbridge can respond at a moment's notice. Preparedness doesn't just happen during an emergency. It is an ongoing investment in training and relationship building. The event also gave the city's emergency social services team a chance to work with new volunteers. The Alberta Emergency Management Agency said the city demonstrated a strong level of preparedness and operational readiness. Did you know we have about 15 different collective agreements? In the past year, we negotiated contracts with many of these groups, including an amalgamated transit union and the International Firefighters Union. And this video I do want to share. It's a brand new video it's done, and it's really a quite good video, so just over 2 minutes if we can roll that.
What is your emergency?
Saving a life is what we do this for.
That's why we got into this job. We don't do it for the pat on the back. We do it because that's what's right.
I got into this career path in high school. I did a ride-along and was kind of hooked and fell in love with the integrated service that Lethbridge Fire Department offers.
The fact that we get to be both firefighters and paramedics is super appealing, and I think the service we provide is very unique.
At any given point on any shift, I'm ready to respond as a firefighter, and I'm also ready to respond as a paramedic.
We are provided with the best technology, the best training.
It gives us confidence that we are offering the best care.
Well, I joined on with Lethbridge because of the culture here. We have a team full of leaders and mentors.
We all kind of push each other to be the best versions that we can be, not only for our colleagues, but for the community as well.
I don't think there's anything more moving than when you know that you made a difference in someone's life. That's definitely the reason we all signed up to do this job. That's the reason I became a paramedic, was to try and make that difference.
It's super rewarding. It's an awesome feeling. You get to go home at the end of the day and know that you made a difference in somebody's life.
I would say certainly in our industry, you're never too late to start. Whether you're 18 and you know that this is what you want to do, or you're 35 and you decide, hey, this is what I want to do. Everybody's welcome here at Lethbridge Fire.
Your career in emergency services starts here.
So that was just released last week, and what an incredible video that was done. So now, before we go, this is the final section today, ways to stay informed. I want to touch a little bit about this, because a couple of comments I often hear in the community is I didn't know about that, or this is the first I've heard of this. I want to remind our residents that we have many, many ways to stay informed. So they include monthly columns that myself put out in the city website, the Lethbridge Herald that highlights the great things happening in our community, and sometimes the not so great things that are happening in the community. Our City of Lethbridge website includes the news subscriptions and closure pages, the city social media pages, the council and committee meetings which are open to the public. Agendas are published, of course, a week ahead of each meeting, and the recaps of each council meeting are available as well with the council highlights. Our City of Lethbridge engagement website of getinvolvedlethbridge.ca, which seeks feedback and has information about upcoming projects. And our 311 team via chat or call to have your questions answered. And one that I know I quite like is the Lethbridge Loop app, and it pops up and tells me when I have to have my garbage out on the street or my recycling, and which has been amazing. We also have our next community conversation event that's coming up next week, so it's great timing for anyone who hasn't been able to has been to one before. As mentioned, the City of Lethbridge is hosting a community conversation next week on January 29th from 3 to 7 p.m. at the visitlethbridge.com arena. It's our biggest public engagement event of the year. The community conversation brings together city projects seeking community feedback in one convenient location, making it easier for residents to share feedback and connect with city staff and partners. Public participation helps build a strong and connected community, inform city council decision making, and enhance the way the city that we call home. This year's event will feature more than 40 projects, programs, and services, everything from assessment and taxation, our snow plowing and windrow assistance service, transportation planning, transit route planning, public art master plan, etc. So if you have the opportunity, I'd recommend going out and checking out the community conversation. And bring the whole family, because there will be some public skating during the event, and you can even hit the ice with members of the Lethbridge Hurricanes. That'll happen from 4 to 5 on that day. So as Councillor Parker likes to say, we need to be experts at listening to the experts, and this event is directly geared for that. The event's timing is also great this time around. If anyone here this morning has questions on something you've heard today or didn't hear about today, please come to the community conversation. We'll do our best to set you up with the right person, or connect with us, of course. We'll have representatives from the most city departments there available, as well as several members of City Council. So in closing, Lethbridge is the gateway to opportunity. We are the agricultural, commercial, financial, transportational, industrial, and sporting center of Southern Alberta. Let's make sure that everybody knows it. At the council swearing-in ceremony back in October, I spoke about reaffirming the commitment to building a stronger and more united city. I commend our city manager, Lloyd Brierley, and his administration staff, whose dedication, professionalism, and tireless work have helped us navigate challenges and seize opportunities. I also focused on looking ahead by continuing to build on the momentum started, as well as leading with integrity, passion, and courage. Let's continue to make Lethbridge a place where businesses grow and where every resident feels safe, heard, and valued. Let's be bold in our vision, thoughtful in our actions, and united in our purpose. Together, we'll move our city forward, not just through policies and projects, but through the tone we set, the respect we show, and the legacy that we leave. It's more important than ever to engage in your community and keep up to date on reliable information. I hope I was able to provide some valuable information here in the 2026 State of the City address. The full presentation, as mentioned earlier, will be available on the city's website, on my social media pages, plus Rogers Lethbridge. Thank you. We'll also have the video on broadcast and on its YouTube page. So thank you again to Cindy and the team at Lethbridge Chamber of Commerce, and Excite Lethbridge for hosting us all this morning. And I do want to give a shout out to my friend Nick Cool that has sat with me for days and days and days to go through and put all of this together. So to Nick and to Brian, my office, thank you very much for that. As we head further into 2026, we'll continue our advocacy efforts and continue working toward making Lethbridge the best city it can be. So, and as always, please be safe and kind to one another. Thank you.